Man, what's good, y'all? What's the deal? Still with everybody. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope y'all taking care of yourself, man. It's good to see everybody. So what am I doing here? First of all, if you clicked on the video, thank you for the support. Really appreciate you. What am I doing here, though? I'm here because I want to talk to y'all just about anything. Just this morning, I came up with an idea for content. I thought, too many of us don't allow ourselves to express how we feel, express the things that we want to talk about. We don't get the chance to. So I thought, you know what? Why not do just that? Why not make a series of raw, uncut videos of me just talking to y'all about some deep stuff, right? There will be cuts here and there, but 90% of the time, ain't no cuts. I'm finna sit right here, talk to y'all face to face about some real stuff that needs to be said. You feel me? So that's what we finna do. Welcome to the SENZAVERSE, everybody. Glad y'all came. So, what we finna talk about today, y'all? Or what am I finna talk about today? It's a lot of things. Usually when people do these little podcasts or motivational talks on these channels, they have a certain topic they stay firm to that they want to talk about. Talk about love, talk about money, talk about history, stuff like that, right? Shoot, me though, just anything that comes to mind, I'm gonna talk about. Like right now, what I'm talking about, this is what's in my mind. Just being able to express yourself as a human being is very important. Like, have you ever thought that, especially in this generation, you can't really go to nobody and just talk to them? Like, imagine going to a random person, a random human being in your neighborhood or wherever you live, right? And then you just drop some knowledge on them. Like, you see one dude, you like, hey, bro, life is crazy, ain't it? And then y'all just get to talking about it. You can't really do that because a lot of times people have stuff they got to do with their life. They ain't in a hurry, they ain't in a rush. So they don't got time to just sit there and talk to you about how life is for you and for y'all, for each other, right? So, or like, if you want to meet somebody, right? Like you see a group of guys, right? Or a group of girls, and you see that group and you like, they look pretty interesting, right? Finna go chat it with them, right? It's not hard, but it is hard for people to just go up to that group and be like, hey, y'all, I got a question for y'all. What do y'all feel about love, right? Because especially like with young groups, if you say something like that to them, they don't get to laughing at you and talking to you like, bro, that was random. We don't even know you, and you just asking that. Maybe not. Maybe I'm tripping because there are public interviewers that do that stuff, like the public interviews that you see on the YouTube. They just go to random groups and then just ask a random question. But see, that's the thing though. I'm not talking about having an actual camera on you with the microphone and then doing it right for content. I'm talking no camera, no microphone, no content. You yourself, right, individually, go to a group of people and ask that same question, but you're not doing it for content. So you actually are being truly confident because obviously somebody with the phone or a video camera and with the microphone and they go up and they're like, let me ask this question. Of course, they're not going to feel scared because they know it's for content. But what about you personally, though? Do you personally want to ask that question? A lot of us can't do that because a lot of times humans are so worried about they like their ego and they dignity, right? And it's important to have dignity and it's important to have ego to a certain extent that we're gonna talk about that in a second. But people are so just, I gotta hold on to my dignity and to my ego and how I feel that I can't just ask people that question. And to a certain extent, I agree. Sometimes, there are certain things that you can't really say to people because they're just not ready to hear it or it just don't need to be said. Just keep it to yourself, you feel me? But then, like, at the same time, it's important to want to talk to people and connect with people in the real world. a lot of times now we're so caught up in social media, and social media has made us brain dead. We damn near zombies, so to speak, because you can't like you go outside in public and then you see people then they scrolling through their phone with their mouth open like yeah zombified, don't even know what's going on, brain rot, like it's crazy. So a lot of people don't have the social skills like they used to. Like if I go up to a brother or anybody, right, and I'm like, hey fam, let me ask you a question. Do you know what is the best way to like get rich? They'll be like this. What? Oh, yeah, just like get a job and stuff like that. They won't really, feel me, tell you how to get rich because they too busy scrolling through social media, TikTok. Yeah. Just make sure you get a job. That's not gonna help you out. You gotta really sit down with somebody and talk to them like, okay, boom, you trying to get rich? All right, here's what you gotta do, right? Sit down, get comfortable, and like here's the blueprint. Miss. So I think expression is very important, and this is the purpose of this video. Coming to y'all, even though I'm being a hypocrite low key, I'm doing this behind camera. I'm not in person talking to nobody. I'm here behind camera doing this stuff, right? Cool. But at the same time, you don't see me editing it or nothing, doing cuts, none of that stuff. I'm really just sitting here being my authentic self, not trying to be too perfect, not trying to talk about a certain topic. Just keep it cool, That's very, very important. It's really important to be your own self, be your own leader. That's another thing we got to talk about, leadership. Leadership is very important in this world. What is a leader, first of all, right? See, when I think of a leader, I think about like power, confidence, resilience, and belief in your ability, right? So when you have those traits, right, you'll be able to move forward with your life because in your mind, internally, you like, no matter what people say about me, no matter what people feel about me, I'm able to stand on my own and stand on what I believe in. I'm pointing out this, no homo. But what you gonna call it? I'm standing on what I believe in, right? And a lot of times when a group of people see you but think like that, right, they'll begin to follow you. They'll begin to follow they begin to follow your lead because they sense power in your spirit. So when a group of people sense power and guidance in your spirit, they naturally just want to follow you. It's the way of life, Naturally, people follow people who are strong and powerful and confident in what they believe in. A lot of times when you see friend groups in school or, friend groups at a party, there's always a leader within those groups because that individual, boy or girl, they have this aura, they have this, intensity, this confidence within them that they just naturally draw to, right? It doesn't matter if you tall or short, none of that shit. You just have it. So generally, those people are the ones that plan the parties, plan the events, be texting first, like, y'all, this is what we finna do. Leadership is very, very important. And leadership is a beautiful thing, too, because it gives you the opportunity to lead others to the right path. A lot of times, leaders don't lead people to the right path in this generation, but even so, leadership is very important. But it's like, leadership also comes with a price, though. I would say more in the beginning stages of wanting to be a leader and be yourself. That's where, like, I guess the hardest part comes in. So when you want to be a leader, it starts off with you being alone. It's a lonely place when you first want to become a leader because a lot of times you won't have any supporters. A lot of people thinking differently from you. They think whatever you're talking about is relevant because everybody else feel this way, right? It's almost like basketball. Most people will say LeBron James and Michael Jordan are the two best NBA players in the entire world. But what if somebody come up and be like, I think Kyrie Irving is the greatest player of all time? They would look at you and be like, what? Get him out of here. He's stupid. He said Kyrie is up there with LeBron and Michael Jordan, tripping. But, right, even if he's wrong about that, he's being a leader because in his mind, while the common crowd is talking about MJ and LeBron, right, I feel like Kyrie is up there with him, right? Now, Obviously, that's not the case. And Kyrie's my favorite player. And I don't even say, yeah, Kyrie's not up there with LeBron or MJ. But just from that example, my voice cracked. Just from that example, you kind of understand that when you set yourself apart from other people, generally a lot of people look at you crazy. But that's where that confidence comes in. So when you first see, okay, people looking at me funny because I think differently. Now I gotta stand on that and prove that I'm not crazy. For example, um, uh, Killmonger from the Black Panther, right? A lot of people really don't understand Black Panther, right? I feel like real pro blacks understand Black Panther. Like people who really know Black history and know what we've been through really understand the Black Panther movie and even Black Panther 2 and the problem with that movie, right? So this is another leadership thing when it comes to Black Panther. So obviously we know Black Panther, the main villain was Killmonger, right? So this is what Killmonger felt because I personally believe Killmonger was right. I don't believe he was. Killmonger was right. I don't care what nobody say. Killmonger was right in Black Panther. And I love T'Challa and I love Chadwick, but Michael B. Jordan was right in that movie, right? So boom. In Black Panther 1, Killmonger's whole motif was black people all around the entire world are struggling. We ain't got no power. We don't have our own resources. We don't have our own leaders. We don't have none of that stuff around the world, right? And that's a bad thing. However, there is a whole country in Africa called Wakanda that has not only the strongest technology in the entire planet, but vibranium that powers that said technology. And vibranium is also the strongest metal on the entire planet. So basically, vibranium is God, so to speak. Vibranium is God, right? In a sense. So with Killmonger, he's like, that's some selfish stuff. Here y'all are, black people, African people. Y'all see that y'all own kind is struggling outside of Wakanda. But yet and still, you gonna keep vibranium and all this technology to yourself within Wakanda space, like y'all different from us. And then to make matters worse, y'all in the heart of Africa and seeing a whole bunch of other Africans struggling financially and economically, but yet and still y'all have the nerve to keep your resources to yourself. I get other races, right? But with your own people, no, that's doing too much. So what Killmonger did was he goes to Wakanda and he stands on it. He said, y'all sitting up here comfortable. A whole lot of people are looking just like us, wishing that we had the same kind of power and resources, but y'all just letting us sit there struggling. So I want to take the throne and show what's right. So what he did, he challenged T'Challa like a real one, beat him, and then took the throne. But you know how movies go. Movies don't never want the villain to be right because a lot of these villains are right. They kill them off, right? Crazy. But Killmonger was right in that movie. His leadership, he stood on his leadership. He believed that black people deserve the same power as Wakanda. And since black people's resources were taken anyway by slaves during the transatlantic slave trade, we need to take that back. We need to get reparations ourselves and not get it from other people. And that's what he stood on. But people was like, nah, he tripping. He wasn't tripping. The brother was right. So that's one form of leadership. Killmonger's leadership was, I'm going to stand on what I believe in. And if y'all disagree with me, then I'm going to fight for it. In which he did. He damn near won too. But, you know, the movies have to happen. The movies got to happen. It's the same thing with Spider-Man No Way Home, right? So in Spider-Man No Way Home, Tom Holland, he like, listen, these villains from these other universes, right? They like misunderstood, so to speak. Freak accidents happen. So he's telling Doctor Strange this. He's telling Doctor Strange, like, listen, what if we just try and cure him, right? And Doctor Strange's like, is you crazy? They evil. It's they fate. They have to die because that's their destiny, right? But because Tom Holland's leadership is like, nah, you know, that's not right. That's not what a superhero does. A superhero's job is to help people become better. Leadership. So what he did was he tried to do that. And yeah, he failed at first and lost his auntie, you know, unfortunately. But in the end, it all worked out because, well, He stood on it, but he did need a little bit of help of the other two Spider-Men to help him, which is cool, right? Cool. They helped him out too, right? So when you have those kind of dynamics, right? When it takes sacrifice and responsibility and consequences, that's when you really get challenged as a leader. Because a lot of times when you want to be a leader, you'll get a lot of negativity. You'll get a lot of people that don't care about your opinion or judge you and stuff like that, right? Like, for example, Dr. Umar Johnson, one of my favorite black activists in this generation, right? Obviously, we all know a lot of people don't like Dr. Umar because they feel like he's biased to the black community, which, of course, that's his whole thing, and he's right about that. Seeing how black people act now in this generation, we need a strong black male to help us come together. But because of the effed up system, we got a lot of us that support him. A lot of us do support him, rightfully so. But then another half of us don't support him. Not enough of us support him, right? So you have the other half saying that he ain't built the school yet, so what he says, it doesn't matter, right? Then they're also saying he's probably a coon behind closed doors. It's crazy. And then they're also saying love is love. You should love whoever you want to love. It's like, so you have people that, you know, are calling him all these names and telling him he's wrong, right? But we know Dr. Umar, he stands on what he says. He doesn't care what nobody has to say about him. He still stands on what he believes in. Black unity, black power, black couple, black consciousness, all day, every day. Go back to Africa and really tap into who you truly are and know where you come from. That's real stuff. But with that, you get disagreements. So basically what I'm trying to say is, like, the harsh reality of being a leader is that while we do see leaders, a lot of times they have that support system. They start off having no support system. I can almost guarantee when Dr. Umar began to talk about Pan-Africanism and black unity, everybody was making fun of him. Like, man, it's 2024. Everybody loves everybody. You know, that stuff doesn't matter no more, right? But then eventually, after he kept speaking on what he spoke on, he started to get a following. And now look at him. He's trying his hardest, and he's finna open up the school. I believe in him, right? As a black man, I believe in him. So, and even with me, like, the reason I'm talking about all of this is because once upon a time, not once upon a time, I'm a leader myself. And the reason I'm a leader myself is because I stand on my own a lot of times. And I think differently from a whole lot of people in the world. Hold on. All right, y'all, I got a call, so we back at it. So that's like one of the first cuts. All right, cool. So with me, right, I was a black sheep growing up. I still am. I've always been a black sheep growing up. I've always been different from the crowd and stuff like that of the way I think, right? But obviously now I understand that me being that is because I'm naturally a leader. I naturally stand on my own because I'm meant for leadership in the future, right? But as a kid, I'm not mature yet. So when I'm a kid, I'm thinking, don't nobody like me. I'm a weirdo. I'm awkward, you know. Even black kids don't like me, so I must be an alien or something. I must be some kind of alien from a different planet type thing, right? Because I'm not getting along with nobody, not even my own race. It's crazy, right? So it was like I just had a different thought process. I like different music. I liked art. I like, you know, books, all of that stuff, right? You know, so I wouldn't say I was just completely different. I would say I am what people would call the book smart, nerdy black kid type. But see, the thing about me though is that even though I'm nerdy in a sense, I'm still cool with it though. Like, I still hang out with cool people. Like, my friends, they cool. Like, I still have a little bit of swagger within me. Like, you know, I keep it cool with it though. But, you know, I like Marvel. I like books, you know, superheroes. I like to draw. I love cartoons, all of that stuff. Yeah, that's my thing. That's my thing, right? See, I embrace that now, but when I was a kid, I didn't, because the kind of black kids I grew up with growing up, they were street kids, ghetto kids, basically. Kids that like to want to be gangbangers, you know, want to be rappers, you know, all of that stuff, used to smoke weed. They was them. And also athletes. But if we really being honest, a lot of times athletes from the ghetto, they know different than the street kids. You know, they do the same thing. They good at basketball, they good at football, right? And I was a basketball player too. So, you know, it's the same thing, right? So because I grew up with that dynamic of black folk, you know, street kids, I never really fit in with them, right? And then on top of that, the schools that I went to schools with mostly like white kids, Hispanic kids, and Asian kids, right? So of course I'm not finna relate to them because we different races, so we have different, history of one another, right? So we're not gonna relate to each other, right? So here I am in the middle of the two. I can't get along with the non-black people, and I can't get along with the black people, and I'm black. So as a kid, I felt alone a lot of times. Like, dang, who am I? Like, why doesn't nobody mess with me for real? Why can't I find friends? Why can't, I do this? Why can't I do that? And it left me vulnerable, left me insecure and unconfident within me. So because of that, there was a time where I wanted to just follow the common crowd. I would see that black kids generally in my area, this is when I was still uneducated and I didn't know that there were black kids like me. I thought all black kids were ghetto, but that's not true at all, right? But at the time I did. So I'm in the 8th grade, I'm thinking, okay, instead of me doing what I do, what I usually like to do, I like to watch cartoons, I like video games, I like basketball, I like R&B music, I like art, all of that stuff. I like, feel me, Legos, whatever, stuff like that. I'm like, I want to go be a little hood kid. So I start hanging out with kids like that, right? Trying to get my hair like them, trying to dress like them, trying to talk like them, trying to be a YN. I hate that word. That word is cringe. YN, corny. But yeah, so I was trying to be like that, so to speak. And then it all backfired. Because see, well, you gotta really be true to who you are. Being true to who you are is very, very important. And people can kind of tell when you're not truly who you are, right? I knew deep down there is not 1 ounce of street gang mentality in me. Like that's not me. That's not who I was raised around. And even my family tree, I don't have no gangbangers or street dudes or ratchet women as a part of my family. All of my family was artists, book smart, intelligent. My father very intelligent, my mother very intelligent. So there's not 1 ounce of hood in me, of ghetto-ness in me, of streetness in me, right? So knowing that, it's like me trying to be that never worked out. So all the little hood kids that I try to hang out with would just make fun of me, like, bro, who you think you is, bro? You're nobody. You're nice. You're a nice dude, like, and even though that hurt, like, dang, like, it was the truth. I had to be humbled. So now, when I'm now in this time of my life, as I understand that, okay, cool. I understand that I'm not like this dynamic of black people. So now let me stand on my own and get with black folk that actually agree with me, right? Which I've done. See, the difference is I still think a lot differently from them with my beliefs and stuff like that. And I noticed that when I'm talking to them, so even now, it's still like, okay, cool. I understand now that's not the dynamic of black people I need to be around. But at the same time, um, these black people that I'm with, I still have to find my voice because they still don't think like how I think, right? So, man, leadership is very, very important, y'all. Leadership is very, very important. And that's something I want to talk about too, like bullies and people that talk mess and make fun. That's a very deep, topic I've always thought about. Bullying and teasing and making fun. That's another thing that I went through, being bullied and stuff like that as a kid because I was different. I wasn't the typical black kid that they put on social media, which is very negative. They need to stop doing that, right? So I was always made fun of. So the thing with bullying is this, right? Bullying comes from an internal insecure energy that is within somebody, right? So there is something about you that you hate or that you don't even have to hate yourself. There's just something that you hate in your life that you wish didn't happen. So boom, for example, let's just say a bully, right? He doesn't have any, like, let's say the bully is like 7 years old, right? he don't have any like toys to play with. He don't have no cool action figures, no toys, no video games, none of that stuff, right? And that makes him upset. He's insecure about not having anything to play with as a little kid. The only thing he has is probably like a little sketch pad and a football. That's it. Which is still cool, but he wants more, right? So boom, he ain't got none of that stuff. But then the kids across from him, they got it. They got the coolest toys. They got the latest game system. They got basketballs, footballs, and baseballs. They got way more sports balls than him. He mad about that, right? But this is what he does notice though. He notices that those kids are smaller than him. They little. And the kid that don't, the boy that doesn't have the stuff, he big, he's strong for his age. So what does he do? He uses that anger and goes against them. Give me your basketball. Give me this. This is mine. It's not yours no more. Pushes them. Why is he bullying them? He bullying them because he's insecure about not having what they have. And the little ones, they can't really defend themselves because they small physically. So because they see they're smaller, they're afraid to go up against all that strength, right? So bullying is insecurity turned into some form of power. And a lot of times, you don't really see bullies bullying people that's the same size as them. Bullies only mess with people that are smaller or they feel is more inferior. You know, it's kind of like the food chain a little bit. Tigers don't try and kill other tigers or other big cats. They go and try and kill hyenas or oxes or deers because the lion knows I'm stronger than the deer, so I'm gonna go hit them. But I'm gonna go kill them. But I'm not finna kill another lion, or I'm not finna kill an elephant. If I'm finna kill this elephant, I'm gonna have my boys with me. I'm gonna have other lions with me to help them kill him because they know the elephant is the strongest animal on the planet. So they know not to mess with them one-on-one, right? So it's the same thing with humans. They like to bully. So if you got a football player, right? Big old football player. He's strong, he's tall, he big, all of that stuff, right? And then you have the little book smart kid, right? The football kid, he jealous of the book smart kid because the book smart kid, he's smart. He got all A's. While the football player, he got all F's and possibly won't play on the football team no more, despite all the athleticism. So what does the bully do? With all that insecurity built up, he uses that against the book smart kid and pushes him, you know, tells him, let me use your homework for tonight. Let me take your homework. Let me copy your homework. And if not, I'm going to punch in your throat. That's bullying. And I always wondered that. See, what I got bullied for growing up was like my size, because I'm very slim, right? I'm a very slim dude. If you see my short films, you can tell I'm a very slim guy, right? And then I was, I didn't really like dress like how, like I said, street kids is supposed to dress, right? So because I ain't dressed like that, they tease me for it. Like, but what happened was I never really was uncomfortable with how I dressed until they started bullying me about it. So what happened was is that they seen that I was comfortable with who I was. I didn't need no nice shoes or no expensive pants or jeans to look a certain way. I just wanted to live my life. But it wasn't until they started bullying me where I started to feel, you know, conscious about that stuff. Like, I ain't got this, I ain't got that. So that's what, but as I've gotten older, I realized they did that because they were insecure of my energy. They didn't like the energy that I had, so they took it away. That's another thing too. Bullies know what they be doing. A lot of times people will see your potential, and when they see your potential, they want to tear it down because they're afraid of seeing who you are at your highest, because they know when he gets to when he gets to his highest, man, I can't stop him. So I gotta stop him now before he gets there, and that's what bullying does. Bullies be known, but it's a spiritual thing with bullies. You know, a lot of this stuff is very, very spiritual. Everything is like spiritual and energy. So when you do certain things in your life, when you make certain decisions, it's something about your spirit that makes you do it. Sometimes you can't really just help what you do. Sometimes you do it because just spiritually you just feel it. Like me, for example, I always wondered why I like to draw. Why do I like drawing? Why do I like animation so much? Why do I like, you know, movies like this, right? I can't answer that question because spiritually, I'm just attracted to that. You know, like I said, genetically, my family was full of book smarts, you know, book smart nerds, artists, you know, all of that stuff. So just naturally, spiritually, and genetically, I'm a part of that culture of, I love animation, I love to draw, I love to read because that's what excites me. It's the same thing with people that like to dance, right? Why do I like dancing? Why do I like to, you know, to move my shoulders and stuff like that, right? They do it because just spiritually, well, I feel like if you just black, naturally you just want to dance. You just want to just randomly just start dancing and, you know, stuff like that, let loose. But just even so, spiritually, it's something spiritual about dancing and having rhythm that we want to express. It's all a form of expression, like I was talking about in the very beginning of this video. It's all about expression, expressing yourself and expressing how you feel without feeling judged or having to deal with judgment is a very important thing. So if there's something internally that you feel that you want to just let go, just like if you gotta dance it off, if you gotta go, you gotta like go play basketball, you gotta play the game, something. There's just something that you gotta express, let loose. If you gotta speak it, like just for me, let loose. Don't stiffen up. Don't try and be all controlled. So that's why I decided to do this kind of content because it's important that it is very important that you, us, is one that we, us, we individuals, we allow ourselves to be us. So even when I'm making this video, I'm like, I'm not finna script it. I'm not finna edit it for real. I'm not finna cut it for real. I'm gonna just get on here and just speak, just talk. That's all I've been doing this entire time. I'm just talking. That's it. Just been talking about some real stuff and hoping to help y'all out. You know. So expression, y'all. Express yourselves. Let loose. Say what you feel. Let your energy loose. Feel me? Yeah. So that's gonna be it for this video today. I don't want to keep y'all long because y'all probably busy and all that stuff. But to those that stayed, and I appreciate y'all staying, hearing me talk. You know, I love to do stuff like this. I just love to lecture y'all, drop some wisdom and knowledge on y'all. So definitely we'll be making more videos like this in the future. Stay tuned for that. And then it's called the SENZAVERSE for a reason. So not only am I finna do stuff like this, we got basketball videos coming. We got more animations coming. I gotta finish the Johto animation. That's gonna come soon. The short films are coming back. All the homies, we finna drop some stuff soon. So you gonna see my boys again. You know, we gonna see all of that stuff. You know, SENZAVERSE. A universe is about everything. Universe is everything within it. Planets, stars, outer space, asteroids. You know, galaxies. That's the universe. So the SENZAVERSE, we not one dimensional over here. The SENZAVERSE, we express everything. Feel me? So yeah, appreciate y'all coming out, man. Y'all have y'all a good day, and I will see y'all in the next video.